What's up guys, Geekay here, back after Christmas with another review for you, another squonking review. So this is an Atomizer RDA out of Japan, and it's actually very hard to find information about this. Someone casually mentioned it to me like a couple of months, longer than that, I think maybe 4 months ago. It's called a Type R Addy, right, by EdgeMods. And it's very easy to mistake this for something else because just looking at it, it's very hard to say. There's no signature airflow hole like, you know, like the O-Addy or something like that. So you've probably seen this RDA before, Type R before, on many forums, and you never knew it was a Type R Addy, again by EdgeMods from Japan. The only information I can find, mostly people selling it are French websites or Italian websites, and you know, it's very hard to get information on it. So keep that in mind, and I will show you the Type R Addy, and then we get back to FaceTime, and I'll tell you what I think about it. Alright guys, so here's the packaging for the Type R RDA, Squonk RDA by EdgeMods from Japan. Inside that box you get the Type R Addy, Type R Atomizer, some coils right here, pre-made coils. You get 3 of them. I've already used one, and I'll be using the other one in today's build. You also get a bottom feeding pin, gold plated, couple of O-rings for the deck area, another transparent O-ring, and that's actually it's for the 510 pin or regular 510 pin or BF pin, and you get 2 extra screws for your build deck. You also get a bag of organic cotton, and since it's from Japan, I'm going to assume it's Japanese organic cotton. Haha. So here's the Type R Atomizer by EdgeMods. At the bottom you have Edge Type R, and then you have your gold plated 510 pin, side airflow slots, one on this side, one on the other side, and uses a 510 drip tip. Comes with this drip tip, an Ultim drip tip with dual O-rings inside, and a pretty wide bore, 22 millimeters in diameter, and the height without drip tip and without the 510 pin is about 20 millimeters. A look inside the top cap, so you can see there is some chamfering going on inside there, and it's otherwise a pretty simple stainless steel top cap. And here's a look at the base itself. It's got dual O-rings, and so here's how the airflow works. There is a clamp system right here, 2 clamps for your build. And how the airflow works is basically you have 3 airflow holes right there. On the other side as well, kind of reminds me like the Geek vape Amit, was it Amit? Kind of looks similar to that. So the air actually comes from the bottom right here, and it comes out through the 3 holes that you can see right here. You do have a little bit of a juice well, pretty deep actually for this kind of atomizer, for a squonking atomizer. And so you need to position your coil to take advantage of how the airflow works, right? It comes in through here and it goes up slightly at an angle. So I would imagine that the coil would need to be placed somewhere around here, right? Somewhere around there. Kind of like the top of the coil should be level with the top of the clamps. In my opinion, or at least from my testing, that's how I've always built it to get the airflow. So the airflow in effect will be like sort of like a bottom airflow hitting the coils from the bottom on both sides. The 510 pin on this is reverse threaded, right? So you'd want to go counterclockwise to loosen the 510 pin. At the base of the 510 pin, you have one of those transparent O-rings. And here is the squonking pin, also gold plated, and you can see how your juice will actually come out of the squonking pin. So it will go to the left and to the right. You got a peak insulator right here, and then you have another insulator at the bottom, and this to me looks like an Ultim insulator, as you can see here. And we're going to be using the squonk pin or bottom feeding pin. Again, it's reverse threaded, so to tighten it you need to do it counterclockwise, and to loosen it you go clockwise. Now with the O-ring right there, this is one of the issues that I've had, right? Obviously, you need to make it tight enough so that the positive block doesn't move, but it is possible for you, because of the O-ring, the tolerance given by the O-ring, to keep on going. And I highly recommend that you do not do that, because you can keep on going until the 510 pin sits very flush with the 510, the base of the 510 itself. And I've actually done that by mistake once or twice, and you will get a short. So about this much, I think the 510 BF pin is protruding enough, and at the same time, I think that the positive post is pretty solid in there. And you can see that the squonk pin actually protrudes, right? So to get it to come in such a way where the juice will come left and right, I think it's pretty challenging. I don't think it really matters which position it is, but you can adjust it a little bit. And maybe that's why the O-ring is there, you know, to help you to get the alignment just right, so that your juice will come out this side and on the other side as well. Again, as I said, I don't think it really matters, because once the juice is out, it's out. Phillips head screws on the clamp style deck. One of the screws that I've used before actually had some issues with the threading after a while, because of the way the clamp itself is. You know, once you put a wire down there, then it's not going to, the clamp itself is not going to be straight. It's going to be higher on one side. And the other thing is that you probably need to remove the screw and the clamps when you want to put a bill in. I've tried it with even simple round wire. Well, at least one side of it you need to remove the clamp, and the other side you can basically just lift the clamp up. Now the other thing is the screws are pretty short, right? So it is a little bit more difficult building on the Type R RDA with this kind of clamp style deck. We're going to be using the coils that they provided in there. It's going to be about well, actually it's pretty large. It's about 3.5, I guess, 3.5 inner diameter coil. Yeah, slightly smaller than 3.5. So it doesn't matter which way your leads come out, you can always fit it accordingly onto the deck, right? So the question really is, how high should the build be, or how high should your coils be? As I said before, I expect the airflow to be coming up at an angle like this. So I want my coil to be just like this, if you can see. If it is lower, I don't think I'm going to get good flavor from it, right? But I have tried the coil higher up, as I said, and it did give me good flavor, just a very noisy, turbulent type of airflow. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to try to put the coil a bit lower. So without removing the clamp, you can get maybe one lead inside, you know, but that would be it. For the other side, you need to remove the clamp. Initially, I tried to, you know, get it just nice so that I can slip the wire in, but because the screws are too short, I'll just have to end up, you know, just removing the clamp altogether. So it clamps like this, you don't want to over tighten it at first. You don't want to, you know, push the clamps down too much at first. Tighten it until it just holds the coils down, right? That'll give you some room to position the coils. Okay, and when you're happy, then you can just clamp it down. Move your coil around a little bit. Snip it off. So this time around, I am going to go with this position, as you can see, a little bit lower than what I've done previously, right? And we'll see the type of airflow that we get. Now, obviously, it cannot be too low because of the squonk pin also protrudes a lot. So I'm going to pull it up a little bit more, just like that, so it clears the bottom feeding pin. So this coil right here is going to read about 0.54 ohms. Right, I do like to space out the coils sometimes a little bit, just to cover more area and to make it glow a little bit more evenly. Right, eliminate as much hot spots as possible. Tuck the con in. Squonk all the way to the top. Juice gets sucked back right in, and obviously you're gonna have some leaks, right? So it's possible to over squonk on this. but I'm actually kind of impressed because I expected much bigger mess than what you saw earlier, right? So once the juice levels are above the airflow, now that's where you got to be careful. The O-ring tolerances for the base, how it fits into how the top cap fits onto the base, and the drip tip, etc. is perfect, and the build quality is perfect. I never had an issue. Just keep in mind the O-ring in the 510 there can lead you to, if you're not paying attention, over tighten, and the other issue is that it's reverse threaded. So if you don't pay attention and you keep trying to thread it the normal way, that's going to cause some issues, right? Otherwise, the build quality I think is good. So let me tell you what I think about the Type R Addy from Japan. 0.59 ohm, the build I showed you in the close-ups. It's a pretty noisy RDA. The airflow wide open. Oh, the airflow half open. And very restricted airflow. I kind of feel like it was the same way even when I had my build higher up. And I think by putting the coil lower, I'm actually getting better flavor, but it's still a very noisy airflow. And I think that's because there are 3 holes on the inside, whereas on the outside is just one large rectangular airflow slot, as you can see on both sides. So it's kind of like a turbulent airflow, but the flavor is there, and the vapor production is not as good as other RDAs. For example, I would say the Haku Phenom or Haku Cruiser. Yeah, those things can make really big clouds. With this, not so much. Then again, I have a 0.5 build in here, fused Clapton. I've tried other builds. I've tried simple round wire. I've tried larger builds as well. The thing with going with larger builds than what you saw here, if you go a 0.15 ohm or a 0.2 or 0.3 ohm, the top cap is going to get hot pretty fast. And it's not something unique only to the Type R Atomizer, but it happens in a lot of these squonking RDAs because of the short profile, stainless steel cap, and the reduced DAC. So all that metal is going to trap heat, and I think something like this, the build that I have in here, the provided coils actually work pretty well. And I just cannot remember how much it costs in US dollars. So what I can see on the websites is about 75 euros. So 75 euros, I don't want to actually do the conversion. Let's just say 85, no, $82. Yeah, maybe about $82. So it's about the same price range as a lot of high-end Squonk RDAs. Not very expensive. Like I would consider the Le Concorde or Le Supersonic as, you know, the high upper range of the high-end atomizers. This is more towards the lower range. I would say it's about the same price as the Gambit RDA. I've reviewed that before on my channel, and it also looks very similar to the Gambit RDA. It's very subdued, very minimalistic, you know, but I think that's the problem. If you look at it, like if I put a picture on my Instagram, I don't think many people will be able to tell what RDA it is exactly. So the price is a pro. Obviously, this is not a mass-produced atomizer, but you know, you can get it ready in stock in stores, online stores. Just Google for it, Type R RDA by EdgeMods, and most of the sites carrying this right now will be French or Italian, right? So you have to get it from those sites. The build quality on the Type R Addy, I think the build quality is good, but nothing to scream about. And I already have the issue of one screw, kind of like I ruined the threads on one of the screws in just my test process. Now, people always tell me, why do you have to do it so hard? Or why do you have to take the screw all the way out? Or why do you have to do this? Because I have to. Because I have to test it. I have to take the screws out. I have to put a huge build in there and see if the clamp, you know, what's the breaking point of stuff. I have to. So maybe in a day-to-day use, you know, you won't have issue with the screws, but mine, one of it, I did strip the screws, some additional screws available, and the insulator as well, the Ultim insulator, I feel like it's not going to hold up that well. I already have some parts of the insulator that have already, you know, broken off or scraped off. Otherwise, I think the build quality is good, but again, nothing to shout about. The flavor from the Type R Addy is good again, but again, nothing to shout about. There are many other RDAs out there that can give you as good flavor, if not better. The only thing with the Type R Addy is the height of the coil. I think makes a lot of difference. So you really have to experiment with the height of the coils. The airflow is pretty unique. Something that I've seen before in the Amit, not exactly, I know, just the appearance wise, it looks like the Geek Vape Amit, but it is a bit unique. All that uniqueness though you can only see on the inside. From the outside, it looks like any other RDA I've seen. The vapor production is okay, I would say. Now that brings me to the cons of the Type R Addy. The clamp, I would definitely put it as a con. It's a bit difficult to work with. I wish the screws were just a little bit longer so that I can unscrew and, you know, just push the actual clamp up above the two posts so that I can just slip the wire in. But at the moment, if I try to unscrew it to that point, the screw just comes out. So I just end up just taking out the screw and the clamp, at least on one side. So it is definitely a little bit of a hassle, the build deck for the Type R RDA. The airflow is another con for me. I think the airflow is a bit, I mean, you just listen to it, it feels a bit turbulent. Now maybe it's because I've tried so many squonking RDAs this year. I've tried stuff like the Le Concorde, which the airflow was so smooth, and the Le Supersonic as well, very smooth airflow, and that's on this side, and this would be somewhere on this side, right? So it's a bit more turbulent, noisy, and that's definitely one of the cons. So my final thoughts on the Type R Atomizer by EdgeMods is that it is good, and I am not sure exactly when this was released, but if, let's say, I happen to come across this Type R Addy today, I probably wouldn't buy it. I mean, I bought this for the purpose of the review, but if I was me watching myself doing this review, holy shit, yeah, if I was watching myself doing this review, I probably wouldn't get it, because today there are so many good single coil Squonk RDAs out there, in my opinion, with better flavor, easier build decks to work with, and better vapor production, and a whole lot of accessories available as well. That's the other thing with the Type R Atomizer. Probably in some website, it probably is in Japanese, they have loads of different caps, etc. But, you know, just searching around Facebook, I didn't find any. So the stock cap is what you have. So today at this price point, for about 80 USD, you can get other single coil squonking RDAs. I feel that are better than the Type R in looks, in airflow, and in flavor, and also in the ease of use in the build deck itself. So there you go, that's my review for the Type R Addy by EdgeMods. Okie dokie, no more smoky.